I'm Chip Freund, and this is the Artist Spotlight, conversations with contemporary artists based on 5 simple questions that explore the artist's journey, creativity, and sources of inspiration. Welcome to another episode of the Artist Spotlight podcast. I am Chip Freund, and today I am joined by Bayou Gray. Bayou is a accomplished oil painter and focuses on the human form and portraiture. Bayou, thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited to hear more about your creative process and your journey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chip. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, why don't we start off with if you could share a little something you're working on with the audience, get them grounded in what you're about these days.
Well, I'm always working on around particularly the same thing. There's always a figure of some sort. Right now, the biggest thing I'm working on is a multiple figure painting where there's a couple bodies intertwined. I do have another show that I'm getting prepared to send some things off for in Washington State. So aside from that, if you ask me what I'm working on, it's always a figure. It rarely ever is not a figure. There may be some times where I'm working on a different type of goal, but it's 99.9% of the time a figure of some sort.
And do you work on them sort of one at a time, or might you have multiple pieces going at once that you sort of move between?
No, I'm a single line painter. I work one at a time. I found for me, the level of focus I have to have in order just to get the varying skin tones, it just works. It just helps me to stay with one particular figure so I can get the mood of that particular painting.
Excellent, excellent. Well, the first question that we roll into here is, what's your earliest memory of making art of any kind?
Of any kind, it would definitely be as a child at my grandmother's table. She had encyclopedias, and I remember airplanes. I want to say they were World War II planes, and I would just try to draw them over and over again. And that's my most earliest memory. Airplanes, and back in those days, on those planes, you'd have the country's flag on the side. So yeah, I'd always try to draw the airplanes, and I'd always draw the flags. That's my earliest memory.
About how old do you think you were?
Oh, wow. 4? Probably 4. I don't remember my sister being born yet, and I'm 5 years older than her. So I'm assuming I was 4.
Way to back into that. All right, all right. So clearly the desire to create imagery has been a part of you from the get-go.
Yes.
Oh, very good, very good. Your current media is oil on metal foil, as I understand it. What brought you to that media and why?
Trial and error, really. When I first started painting, I swore I'd never paint a human. It was like, I'm not painting people. I love landscapes. I love the atmosphere. I tried painting landscapes. I was awful at them. Terrible. I couldn't get the atmosphere right. I'd focus on the details so much that I'd ignore the entire painting. So as a lark, I decided, well, let me just try a human. And just like that, I instantly fell in love. The attention to detail helped there. So once I started doing one, I was like, you know what? That's not bad. I did another. Eventually, I started realizing that I don't like painting backgrounds. That's when I started using gilding. Then I started gilding at first it was copper. Now it's mostly gold. So now it's just figures on gold, like almost exclusively. And that's just simply by trial and error. I didn't have any feeling when I painted a landscape. When I paint a human, I can feel it, for lack of a better term.
Having seen your work as a viewer, I can feel what you did. So I got to believe if I'm feeling it as the viewer, you had to be feeling it as you were putting it down on canvas. It just really comes across. The one of the questions sort of related to your work I had is the skin tones you're able to render. There's a luminosity really to them. Is that due to the gilding underneath, or is it simply the techniques of layering that you do that sets the skin to almost radiate like it does?
For me, it's three things. One is the way I use the brush. I don't paint traditionally. I paint flat, and I paint in random strokes. There's a lot of impressionism in the way I paint. The second is definitely the gilding. And the third is I use a transparent palette. So all those things come together. And I actually don't paint in layers. I paint one layer just to keep I don't want to mess up the gold underneath. I still want that to be there. So it's one layer. I just have to be incredibly careful about where I put color and how I mix them with each other.
Interesting, because as I talk to other oil artists, part of what drew them to the oil is the fact that you can go back and fix it and you can layer and you do all these, but you're not doing that at all. You're basically, once you put the oil down, you're committing.
Yes. Yes, because it stains the gold otherwise. I clean it off, then there's a smudge, and then the shine is gone. It deadens that portion of the painting. So yes, I'm one and done.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, it really is a unique look that is just amazing. But moving on, what inspires your work? Where does it come from?
Most of my paintings stem from a mood of feelings, energy. I'm an emotional painter. I don't necessarily try to say something, but I do want the viewer to feel something, whatever that feeling is. Whatever feeling I got when I looked at it, I'm assuming the feeling's real, and I can pass that on to the viewer. So I try to take the emotion of the moment, whatever pose, whatever figure, whatever idea I have. I take that emotion. I probably fixated on it a little unhealthy for a little bit, and then I pour it back into the canvas. Sometimes I'm successful at that. Other times not as much, but it's all part of the growth process.
Very cool. Do you work from a photo of your model, or do you do a live session with sketches? What's the process that leads up to getting the work on canvas?
It's always a photo, whether it's a photo from live or a photo that I've sourced from somewhere. It's always a photo, simply because I zoom in to skin pretty closely so I can see the different variants. Oh, that looks like it's green there. That shifts purple. I tried to do that with a live model. It got a little creepy trying to get that close. So I stick to photos at this point simply because I need to get a little too close than people are comfortable with.
Could appreciate that. But it pays off, brother. Pays off. What advice would you give to an artist just starting out in their career?
Oh, this is it's an easy piece of advice. It's hard to do. To an early starting artist, or just anybody who wants to get into anything artistic, find yourself. Whatever it is that makes you, you. If you're lucky, you'll find it fast. Most people won't, because the world will take it out of you. And it'll tell you the things you're doing is wrong, feel it right. You have to find yourself. You have to cut out all the outside noise. And the hardest part, there's no magic here. You just have to walk the road. That it's work. It really is. I don't want to make it seem like there's a fairy who sits on my shoulder and muses with me at night. No, it's work. It's work, and the muse shows up because she sees you working. That's it.
Are there techniques that work well for you to accomplish that? Practices in your life?
Isolation. There's no way around it. Like I mean, it helps that I'm naturally introverted. So just having alone, just having time to sit and think and stew and trying to figure out what is it, what about this pose attracted me to it. And then once I figure out what attracted me to it, I can figure out how to give that back to the viewer.
Hmm. I can relate a little bit in terms of my photography, in that I'll see a scene and there's something in the scene that captured my attention, and I will then I'll do the initial capture, and when I come back and go to process the image, oftentimes what ends up you know printed on paper is not what one would have seen if they were standing next to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, because my mind's eye saw it differently than maybe the person next to me would have seen it. So as I process the image, it this is the feeling, this was the intention, that I captured on the moment.
Right. No, I totally understand that because, like, for me, sometimes I zoom in. Well, a lot of times I zoom in, and it's typically an angle of some sort, an angle or some a weird finger position that's like that right there. And I zoom in on that, and that's where the magic happens for me.
Well, excellent. Our last question is, what artist or artists, if you can't narrow it down to just one or two, that's fine, would you have the audience go check out? This could be somebody that has been a long time inspiration to you, or somebody you just discovered, living, dead, just somebody you say, you know what, this is solid work. Go check this out.
Oh wow. Let me see. As far as people that inspire me when I see their work, I can think of a few. Um, I don't. I hope they're not watching. Maybe I'll get their names wrong. Karen Offit. She does portraiture, and she just has amazing atmosphere in her works. Her works are far softer than well, at least mine, because mine are a little sharp. But yeah, the atmosphere around her portraiture is amazing to me. Stephanie Rue would be the second one. She paints on gilding, and she she's amazing. I can't. It's incomparable. I can't even begin to describe it. It's that good.
Hmm.
It wows me every time I see it. And last one I can think of is Alpe Efe. Um, a little. He has some illustrative tones to his work, and he's actually a pretty good teacher too. So those are the three I can think of offhand.
All righty. Well, thank you for that. In terms of folks being able to find your work, I know you've got a website, bayougray.com, and you're on
Yes.
Instagram. Is your work in any galleries that folks can go put their eyes on it in person?
Um, a lot of my work is in galleries out of state. So I have something in Washington State, have something in Florida, but I'm not represented by any galleries currently. That's probably the next thing on my list to do.
Hmm.
So right now, you'll just see them in pockets here and there.
So various exhibitions that you joined. Excellent. Um, well, this has been a real pleasure. Glad we've had a chance to chat a little bit. Look forward to getting to know you better as our time together in the Fine Arts League of Cary continues. And with that, we'll call it a wrap on this episode of the Artist Spotlight podcast. Tune in next time for another conversation with a contemporary artist. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Artist Spotlight with Chip Freund. Find accompanying blog posts at chipfreundphoto.com/blog, and you may subscribe to our show on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like listening.